What's up, everybody? I wanted to go over more qualities of driven and successful entrepreneurs, right? We went over 16 traits. We went over the 8 qualities or 8 habits, right? So today I want to go over 8 qualities of fear-driven entrepreneurs. Now I'm gonna tell you this: my paper does say fearless, okay? Just so you see proof. That's usually when I thought fearless was a cool word. But now I get older, I realize everyone is driven by fear. And it's really a choice of which fear you decide to let lead you, right? If you don't know which I'm talking about, there's a training somewhere in one of these courses that I ran about fear. Okay, so go check it out. All right, so 8 qualities of fear-driven entrepreneurs. The first one, we get right into it. Say yes first and figure out the rest later. Say yes first, figure out the rest later. Ready, shoot, aim. Oh, wait, is it ready, aim, fire? No, it's ready, fire, aim. It's say yes, then figure it out. Right? Steve Harvey. Does everyone know who Steve Harvey is? Hell yeah. In between his skits and his commercial breaks, I would say, on Family Feud, you know what he does? Does anyone know this? He talks to the crowd, try to use motivational speeches. Sometimes he'll do some comedy skits and things like that. And Steve Harvey's hilarious. But one of them, he talks about jumping off the cliff. And he talks about you got to jump first and build your parachute on the way down. He goes, otherwise, you're just going to continue looking down, wondering why you don't have a parachute to jump down, wishing you had a parachute to jump down. You have to jump and then build the parachute, especially in the world of entrepreneurship. There's security and no risk and no reward at that cliff. At the bottom of it, you're looking down. You can't see, there's clouds. You can't see the ground. And I can promise you, it's all a reward. It's no security, it's all freedom. But why don't people jump? Fear. It's not about being fearless. It's about being more scared of what staying up top will do to you than jumping down to find out. It's about fucking being excited that you have that opportunity to say yes to something and not being so scared to actually stay where you're at. You have 2 choices. It's be more scared of where you are or be more scared of what's in front of you. You don't know. But I'll tell you what, you didn't know what was in front of you that got you to where you are. Why not take the chance with the better potential? Right? Say yes first. Figure it out after. Juan, what did I tell you today? How do you get started? You just got to get started to get started. That's literally what we said. He's asking about like this step and that step. I'm like, bro, like you just got to jump and you got to figure it out along the way. Because otherwise, what happens is, and I'm going to tell you this from experience, is you get stuck. I was scared to make content on IG, or I didn't know the content to make. But then it stopped me from doing it. Stopped me. Just overthinking it. So finally, I just started to do it. I just did 5 videos before we did this call. And I didn't know what to talk about. But I just sat and I just started talking. Because I understood that I need to just say yes first. And let me just figure it out when I'm there. So I'm talking to the camera. I just start talking. Turns out I have to do a lot better, Drew said. So we all got things to work on. It's okay, right? So say yes first. Figure it out as you go. All right. Number 2, they think differently than everyone else, especially than everyone else around them. they tackle problems with a variety of solutions versus looking at the problem and pointing at it and telling people there's a problem. Managers get paid to solve problems. Okay? Leaders get paid to create problem solvers. Your job is never to help someone solve a problem. Your job is to help someone find the solution. Anyone can bring a problem, right? Anyone can do that. But are you going to think differently and point out the solution to everybody? Are you going to say, hey, look, this is what we need to do today to prevent that problem tomorrow? Like Steve Jobs thought so differently. Everyone thought he was crazy. And what happened? Fucking hell. Everyone has one of these. I'm on my MacBook. Why do you want to think the same? What's normal? I love when people say I'm weird. Yeah, I'm fucking weird. Yeah, who the hell wants to be normal? I want weird results. I want to wake up at weird hours in the night or the morning, because that normal shit, it only gets me normal results. I learned and understood and saw at a very young age that the world is sheep. And it's filled with very few lions. Very few. There's a lot of potential underneath the sheep, though. A lot of them. But none of them get there because they're too scared to think differently than anyone else. They're too scared of that word weird. They're too scared of the word crazy. Fuck that. Call me crazy. Fuck it. Don't even call me. I'm trying to be different. Because at the end of the day, what separates you is what's going to bring you to the promised land. What separates you is why someone's going to choose you over the other person. And if you're a leader or an entrepreneur trying to be a leader, or a freelancer trying to be an entrepreneur, if you will, you're going to have to think differently. You're going to have to say yes and figure the rest out later. I had $100 to my name March 3rd. I was saying yes to a lot of shit that I did not be needing to be saying yes to. But eventually I was just figuring stuff out. I went to Vegas with $50 in my pocket. I spent that $50 on the way to Vegas. I said yes to going to Vegas. I had no money. But you know what's crazy? I ended up winning and turned that first night into a $550 win. And boy, did I have a good time. Went there broke. Borrowed $50 from my buddy. He's like, why do you need $50? Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. I won. It's beginner's luck. We're good. Let me go collect my winnings. I have to give them $50 to get it. That's all. So and I come back with money. He's like, what are you? I told you. I think differently. I say yes first. Thinking like everyone else gets you everyone else's results. Okay. Number 3, they speak up. Some people do not like me. And I can tell you it's because of number 3. My first high ticket job, where I collected the $1 million in 9 months as a reminder. They hated that I spoke my mind. I was looked at as annoying, emotional. I was looked at as always has something to say, argumentative, if you will, right? But why they look at me like that? Because they were looking for yes men, right? And I was the guy that's a fear-driven entrepreneur that I am going to speak up no matter what. If I don't feel like something is right, or I need to know the reason and more clarity to understand, because I live by if you knew better, you would do better, or if you knew more, you would do more. So sometimes I need some clarity. And I'll tell you, entrepreneurs are the most curious people in the world. They ask a ton of questions. Ton. They just need to know. But even though they're okay not knowing, but they speak up. They aren't afraid to be by themselves, knowing that what they believe is right. You can't be people call me a lone wolf. I'm not afraid to live on my hill alone, my island, knowing that I'm doing what I know is right. Don't be afraid to speak up. And I'm going to give you a little tip from my art of negotiation. More people do things to avoid losing something than they do to gain something. Don't be afraid to lose the job, the friendship, the relationship, the position, the money, just because you have to speak up. I'm going to tell you this right now. It doesn't belong in your life if it hinders you from speaking your fucking mind, speaking your true self. Speak up.
My
Okay.
boss hates it when I speak up to him.
Number 4, they enthusiastically share their skills. Enthusiastically share their skills. I actually, when I started with my last company, the sales director was telling the setter, nah, you don't need to know anything about the highest package, about the inner circle. You don't need to know anything. That's not your level. That's above your pay grade. Was he enthusiastically sharing his skills? Well, he was hindering. And again, me being me, the fear-driven entrepreneur I am, spoke up because I think differently. And I'm going to say yes first to this guy, then I'll figure out the rest later. Why the hell does he want to know? Who cares? Let's tell him the information. But this guy didn't. And he's like, no, you can't know. So I went over and told him, give him the information he wanted, because our job isn't to hold people back. Our job isn't to be better because we know a secret. Our job is to continue to get better because the competition keeps raising. That is your job, right? So if you don't want to enthusiastically share your skills, you don't belong in the world of people. You don't belong in the world of business. I heard from one of Grant Cardone's top guys. He goes, your people will buy how you buy. Right? And it's so true. I live by, you attract everyone in your life by the level of your frequency. You're never going to attract a 10 if you a 5. And I don't mean looks, I just mean as a fucking character. A millionaire won't attract a homeless person into their life if the millionaire has the right habits, right? If they're really on that right frequency. So you're going to attract people in your life by also how much you give, how generous you are with your time, your information, your skill set, right? You're going to attract better people because you're enthusiastically sharing your skills. And you enthusiastically want to see people get better. I love darts. Fucking love darts. I actually almost went pro. I just was running a business and I couldn't go to the Philippines. But I was in I'm not joking. Seriously, true choice. Monster, the brand, was going to sponsor me. But I was running door-to-door business. So I was in a dart league in Tennessee. And every time I'd done with interviews, I'd go to this dart. It's a bar. It's a bar with a bunch of dartboards. Okay. You caught me doing it. My bad. But every day I have to finish interviews, I just go shoot darts. And like 1,000 darts. Just fucking shoot it. but I get bored because no one can compete with me. My team was always coming with me because I love people. I'm always around people. So, my door team would come with me. I'm like, let's go to TNT. So they sucked. Like, what fun is it if Michael Jordan is playing a high schooler? Michael Jordan is going to be bored, right? So what did I do? Well, shit. I enthusiastically taught them how to play. So good that one of them actually fucking beat me. I'm gonna tell that. We don't edit that out. But so the point is, you will get better as you get other people better. You don't share your knowledge, you stay the same. So enthusiastically share your skills. Now there's levels to it, okay? There's levels to it. Don't give all your information away. Give nuggets. The more people go with you, the more knowledge you're gonna have to give, right? So, number 5, live by their own code. Like Elon Musk. I feel like there's a set of rules for Elon Musk and fucking Bill Gates. Am I wrong? I feel like the world just, okay, like we understand who you are, how successful you are, that you can live by your own code now, right? And we just accept it. That's kind of what I feel like. Elon going to Mars, okay, cool, Twitter guy. All right, just buying Twitter. All right, yeah, that's cool too. Like naming it X for no reason, like they live by their own set of rules. But if you think about it, so does every other successful entrepreneur. You can't live by the standards of society because they're so low. So I can also say next to it, live by their own code, sets their own standard. That's kind of, again, read between the lines here. So they set their own standard, okay? They don't look for someone else to say, look, you need to make $5,000 a month to stay here. Like, they don't look for that shit. Like, I had a quota of, fuck, was it 10 grand collected every week where I was? That wasn't my goal. That was 10 grand a day. Like, that wasn't the bar for me. What did I do? I set my own bar. So what has to happen is other people now has to raise their fucking bar because I set my bar so high. Now the norm has become my bar. Right? Now, here's another thing. The higher you set your bar, the lower or the higher your low point is. Because it's not really, you're not going to come below your bar. Because the bar is the what? Standard. And we all live by our own standard, our own code, right? Our own way of doing things. You can't let other people decide that for you. You can't let other people say, look, this is how far you can go. I was begging people in 2022 to pay me $6,000 a month. Bobby, I made $6,000 last week. Like, I wasn't living up to my fucking potential. I wasn't setting my own bar. I wasn't living by my own code. You got to do what is best for you. If your talent is the deepest fucking coolest voice in the world, Curtis, you got to share it. You got to be on tons of faceless YouTube channels. You got to be in movies. You got to be taught by James Earl Jones. You know, if your talent is giving, if your talent is driving, if your talent is, whatever your talent is, you have to live by your own code to get that to the world. Your success is owed to you. And it's only going to be determined by how you set that standard. If you decide to let society set that standard, you're only going to live up to what society wants you to live up to. And society wants you to fail because that is easy. I feel like America gets paid every time they have a failure. I swear. Only the Aussie is laughing. I'm surprised the Scottish guy isn't laughing. You know? But like legit though, like understand that you have to live by your own code to get to your dream. Okay? Respect authority, but not too much. This is what I have written down for this one. I feel like it's pretty good. Respect authority, but not too much. So respect the rules that society has, but don't be afraid to break them to get to where you need to go. Be courageous. Rather ask for forgiveness than permission. Number 6, they do what others only wish they can do. Why is that though? Why is that? Why is it that the fear-driven entrepreneur is the only one that has enough courage to actually do what others only wish they could do? Well, it's probably because they wish they want to be somewhere way bigger than the person that thinks they can't do it. The bigger the dream, the easier it is to be doing all the hard work. The easier it is to do the grunt work. I was up till like 11 o'clock last night working. I forgot to call my daughter back. Okay. And I felt so bad, like almost sick to my stomach. And I was so I called my baby mama, like she told me she's sleeping. I'm like, damn it. And I found out today, she literally told everybody that I didn't call her back and I forgot to. And she was mad about it. Right. So I didn't know that though until later. But I set aside time today and even put it on my calendar for Ava. So when she called, we had our half hour, 15 minutes, whatever it was. But I told her, I'm like, hey, I actually put you on the calendar today that no one can distract me right now. It's just me and you. This is Ava time. And she was so happy about that. She told her mom in her ear. And then I texted her mom after, and she goes, yeah, she was so happy. She's like, she came up to me and just started telling me, and she told everyone. But I gotta do what other parents and other fathers aren't to separate myself. Right? I had to let them know that I'm willing to do that grunt work. I'm willing to do that hard stuff, right? So I tell you that story because I missed the call. So that was a side tangent. But I was up till 11 o'clock on Canva, right? I don't do any creative shit. Does anyone know me? I don't. No. And anything on? No, not at all. Artwork? No, I don't. I can't. Anyone see my handwriting? My God. But I know that Victoria is overwhelmed right now, and she's just putting in so much work. And I had myself a deadline. So I was on Canva for fucking 3 hours finishing my success workbook. And it's all decked out shit that I never knew I could do. Never knew I could be that creative or do Canva the way I did. You don't know what you could do and you do it, right? So I was willing to put in that extra time and do that little extra work, because how many people would wake up at 4 a.m. and work till 11 p.m. at night and then get up the next day with this much energy? That is what doing what others won't does to you. It doesn't just get you these views. That's second. It gets you the confidence. It gets you the energy. It gets you the understanding that that's the difference between success and failure. It's just those little things that no one is willing to do. I started in high ticket in January. I sat down. They said, here's a script. Here are the leads. Good luck. And what I saw was that the closers weren't calling anything. They were relying on all their setters. Why? Because they felt like they reached this level, and that was the work they were above. They weren't willing to do it. So I was willing to do it. I made 150 calls a day, but I got the results that they wish they got. You got to be willing to do the things that others only wish they could do. Don't be scared. have courage to be the only one doing it. Like it's like a sixth grade dance, if you will. It always takes one person to get to that dance floor to start the dancing. I guess even in high school, it was kind of like that too. No one comes to the part and they start dancing, but it takes that one person, right? And it takes a couple, and then all of a sudden another person will come, and then everyone's fucked. It's like you ever been to a wedding, and no, like the DJ starts, and it takes a second for that people. One couple comes up, another couple will come up. That first couple, everyone else wished that they had the courage that first couple does. They started the whole fucking thing. You got to do what others only wish they could do. Number 7, never give up. Never, ever, ever give up. There's been times I could tell you right now, I wanted to quit door to door. There's been times I wanted to fucking throw in the towel in this digital space bullshit. But I promise you, I would not be here. I promise you, everything you ever wanted is on that side of one more time. Remember we talked about the 92% of salespeople do not follow up or only follow up 4 times.
Mm-hmm.
And the top 8% of the most successful salespeople follow up 5 times. Right. And I was talking to one of our staffing partners, and they were like, yeah, that's just my issue. I just don't follow up. Like if they say no, I just forget about it. I'm like, that's crazy. That's the difference between me and you. I was like, my follow-up game is no joke. I'll follow you till the end of time. I'm never giving up. I'm hanging on. Why? Because I understand the longer I persist, the better my chances are. The more I persist, and I can't always get a no. I can't always get a no, and I'm not afraid to take the yes if you don't give me a no. But I understand that the results come from persistency. I understand that everything I want is on that other side. The other side of that one more phone call. That one more demo. Does anyone have a story that they were about to give up, and then all of a sudden they tried it one more time? And then it was that time that it fucking happened? Whether it was like a video game that you threw the controller, you said, fuck, I'm gonna do it one more time. And you end up beating the level, right? Or is it like a basketball game where like, I'm gonna try three shots. If I make them, I leave. You make 2, you miss the one, you're like, I'm done. Gotta get the basketball from the neighbor's yard or something because you chucked it. And then you keep going and you make all 3. Or is it that the second time you took that driver's test and you passed? Or that second, third time that you asked that guy out and they finally said yes? That one time that you finally followed up and they were like, I lost your number. I was looking for it. When you're about to just count them out. One more time. Just one more. Never give up. My plan B is to make plan A better. That's it. I don't really have a plan B. Plan B stands for better. Plan better, bitch. It's really what it is. Like if you got a plan B, you don't have a plan A. You already gave up on it. The last one, ignore the haters. Ignore the haters. You got to be okay being comfortable. You can't be scared of how people view you. You can't be scared of what they're going to say. It's half the reason I was scared of Instagram for the last couple of years. But you can't. You got to ignore the haters. You got to. Because the more haters you have, what's that usually tell you? Yeah, the more successful you are. Ain't no one gonna hate you if they don't know you. They gotta, what does Grant say, Bobby? Get out of what? What is it? Obscurity? Get out of obscurity. He tells his wife to say yes to every audition, even if it's bad, even if it ain't for her. And he goes, it don't matter. They have to know you, if they can flow you. The more people know you, the more opportunities come to you. Now, with that, obviously comes haters, jealousy, envy. And I'll tell you, ain't no one more confident than someone behind the damn keyboard, right? And what happens in our head? Like, oh damn, if I put this out, they're gonna say this. If I say like that, they're gonna say this. Don't get caught up thinking how much others think about you, because I can tell you, they ain't. Let's think about it, right? Half the reason why people will be uncomfortable doing in a situation in front of other people that involve other people, right, is because they feel like they're going to be judged, and that person is going to think more about that than they really are, right? So let's put it on you. How often are you just thinking about a random person and how bad they are, or a situation that occurred and you just can't stop thinking about that situation that another person did? Is it often? Is it in your brain a lot? My guess is no. You're focusing on you. It's the same thing in this world. It may be a minute that they say something to you, but they forgot about it when they scrolled up. Just move on. Ignore the haters. Live your life for you. Live by your own code. Right? Don't get caught up in the bullshit. Don't get caught up in that. You got to be smart enough to know who to follow. You follow the certain person, they might bring you more haters. You got to know who brings the best out in you, because then you'll be able to bring the best out in others. And that's what really lies. That's where true success really lies, is how many people can you bring the best out of. But that is 8 qualities of fear-driven entrepreneurs, my friends. Any questions on any of them? Comments, concerns, issues? Should I stop talking?
So basically it's quieting the noise in your head with referring to like haters and all that, because you're the one who's making it more than what it really is.
1000%, Curtis. Way to simplify that for everybody. Get the ghosts out your head, bro. Get the skeletons out your closet. All right, man. Catch us on the next one.